President Trump, meanwhile, making an official announcement about the future of his White House. Chief of Staff John Kelly will be leaving as expected at the end of the year.
Here with his reaction is Mike Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas, author of the new book, Rare, Medium, or Done Well. Make the most of your life. Governor, thank you for joining us.
So is that about barbecue, or is that about politics, or what is that about?
It's not a book about cooking steaks. It's actually not a political book. It's been endorsed by people as far to the left as Van Jones and as far to the right as Eric Metaxas and Robert Jeffress. Right. It's an inspirational faith book about life, so I think it's kind of a nice, maybe break from the political stuff of the day.
Oh, interesting. We'll get to some of that in a minute. But you'd mentioned non-political. When John Kelly was picked to be chief of staff, it was a largely non-political pick. A lot of people respect him and what he's done for our country. So did the president. It looks like the president has announced he'll be leaving by the end of the year. Your reaction to that and what comes next?
Well, first of all, it's not a big surprise that a chief of staff, leaves after a couple of years. He's been there about a year and a half. He's a great man. I love John Kelly personally. I think he's a true patriot. He served his country with great honor and distinction. I think he served this president very effectively. But it's a tough job. It's thankless. No matter what you do, there's somebody always mad at you. And the problem with being a chief of staff is that everyone expects you to take their needs. But the chief of staff only has one client, and that's the principal. In this case, the President of the United States. The only person he's got to please is the President, not Congress, not the press, not the staff, not the lobbyists, not the donors. Just the president. And sometimes that's hard to do. There are three universes from which a chief of staff can come: political, business, or military. He came from the military. He's very disciplined and focused. Doesn't always work with the president, who lives by his own time clock, that's for sure. But I think John Kelly's done a great job for the president, and he will find someone who will also serve him well. He's getting a lot of things done. He's not getting the credit for it. I'm talking about the president. But at some point, people are going to have to look up and say, this guy's keeping his promises. That's what he went there to do.
I agree with you, Mike. So what do you think that this president needs in our next chief of staff?
Well, somebody who understands maybe the politics of Washington and the dynamics. But more than anything, there are two qualities that the chief of staff has to bring. One is loyalty to the president, and the second one is confidentiality, the ability to do the job, to do it with distinction and not go around talking about it, and to stay out of the press. I think John Kelly's done a good job of that. The chief of staff is not to ever be seen or heard from outside of that relationship with the president.
All right.